Hello and welcome to my 2020 birthday Blu-ray Bonanza Extravaganza Spectacular update video. Yeah, so it was my birthday and I bought some Blu-rays. Yep, it's even going to be a two-parter. And just doing that thumbnail, which you may or may not have seen before you clicked on the video, actually has me a little bit out of breath because of the weight of three of the items here. So we have two books and 7 Blu-rays, 8 Blu-rays, and one of which is a huge, humongous collector's set. And then part 2 will be something a little bit different. So, where do I begin? I was very lucky and grateful to get a lot of birthday money and Amazon gift cards from family and friends, which was really, really nice. I wasn't expecting that much. You know, when you get to your 30s, you're kind of like, well, it's just, birthday's just another day. In fact, my boss said to me on my birthday when I was in work, he's like, is it your birthday today? I was like, yeah. He's like, why didn't you try and get it off? And I was like, I didn't even think about it until like a few days before it was coming up. You know, just birthdays don't become that much of a thing when you get to that age, I think. And so I was kind of surprised when I got money for my birthday and was able to spend it on some cool stuff, and spent a little bit more of my own money on that cool stuff as well. So first of all, special mention to Connie. We recently got a new TV, a 4K TV, which we've had various issues with, and we're currently waiting for a replacement. But we decided that we would forego getting each other gifts for our birthday this year, and we'd just buy the TV and split the cost. But I couldn't resist buying her something else anyway, and so she asked if there was anything else I wanted for my birthday when it came around. And so I looked online and found a deal for 2 4K Blu-rays, and so she got these for me, and these are 2 films that she loves as well, so we'll both get enjoyment out of them. The first one is Interstellar, Christopher Nolan's masterpiece. I think this, to me, is his best film. It's my favorite film of his. I think it deserves more credit than it gets, and it's just a spectacular film. I am really looking forward to seeing this one in 4K. Again, been having trouble with 4K Blu-rays and HDR, and the TV just doesn't seem entirely suited to it, unfortunately. But there are some settings, and it's definitely, it's higher resolution. And so I put this one in last night and had a quick look, and again had to tweak the brightness a little bit, unfortunately, with the HDR. But the IMAX shots in this, holy fuck, do they look good on a big TV and in 4K. Like, it's the best possible resolution for a film that I think is visually incredible. And so I can't wait to watch this again. Hopefully next weekend, I think we'll be checking this one out. But I love this film so much, and it was definitely one I wanted. I was considering getting the Nolan box set. There's a 4K Christopher Nolan box set, which has the Dark Knight trilogy, that's 3, The Prestige, Inception, Interstellar, and Dunkirk. Now, I already have Dunkirk somewhere. It's just beyond my reach on the shelf in 4K. But I was thinking, man, and it's about £90, which isn't too bad, considering the 4K films that you get, and these are like Nolan's. I mean, they're films I think that are made for like the best possible resolution and everything. But then I was thinking, you know, okay, no, it went on offer. It's like £60, and I was thinking about pulling the trigger, but I didn't. I should have. But I then found out that it's basically just a flimsy cardboard sleeve around 2 jumbo cases, which I don't know. I like to have them with their own artwork, you know? And so I thought, okay, the Dark Knight trilogy comes in its own trilogy set. I can get that at some point. The Prestige, I'm not in a mad rush to get on 4K by any means. I already have Dunkirk. So I'll just pick up Inception at some point and get the Dark Knight trilogy at some point. But Interstellar was the one that I really wanted to get to and watch pretty soon. So I went for that. And then the next one that I got from Connie was one of my favorite films of 2018, and another film that I'm looking forward to seeing in 4K because of the IMAX sequences. It's Mission Impossible Fallout in a nice Steelbook edition, which is really nice that this is part of the 2 for £30 deal. So this is a really nice Steelbook, and for my money, one of the best action films ever made. Just a stunning film visually. But the story is there too, and the emotional beats, the action beats. It has about 3 or 4 big action set pieces that you would build any other action film around entirely. The action just keeps on coming, and I think it's the best one of the series. I think it's one of the best action films ever made. I can't wait to watch it in 4K and check out all the enhanced resolution of those IMAX sequences. Ooh, where do we go from here? Okay, there's a couple I want to put to one side because they're kind of there for a particular reason. There's another 4K Blu-ray and a couple of other things. I'll just shove them off to the side there. This one I actually just bought just before my birthday, so it isn't technically a birthday Blu-ray, but this is one that I've been umming and ahhing about for quite a while, and my Blu-ray Condition podcast co-host Graham from Man v Film really bigged this film up, and this release in particular from Second Sight. It intrigued me, but not enough to grab it at full price, and it went down on Amazon to like $15.99, so about £16. And I thought, all right, I'll bite the bullet on this one. There is a criterion of this, but I think this one has the correct frame rate, because I believe it was a TV movie. Yeah, it is in 25 frames per second and 1080i. But I'm not entirely sure about that either way, but the film is World on a Wire. This is released from Second Sight. So this is a nice deluxe hardbound slipcover edition with a nice booklet. And of course, obviously a nice Blu-ray. And I don't know too much about this. Graham has sold me on the premise and it really intrigued me. It seems like a kind of, I think it's 70s sci-fi basically. Like but it's one of those things that was very influential apparently. And is from the filmmaker Rainer Werner Fassbinder, who I've heard a lot of things about, but I've never seen any films from. So it might be a good starting point. It might be a horrible starting point for this director. But for $15.99 with a nice limited edition set, I thought I'd go for it. And based on Graham's recommendation, I'm sure I'll enjoy it quite a bit. Now, this is a big one. This is like a double dip, triple dip into the beyond, really. I don't know how I managed to convince myself to buy this, but it is something that I'm really glad I have in my collection. I don't know where it's going to go, how it's going to fit into things space-wise, but I couldn't quite resist. Let's just pick it up and take a look at this mammoth box set. It is Kiki's Delivery Service, the 30th Anniversary Collector's Edition. This thing is a monster. It's a huge box set, and it is limited to 1,000 copies, and this is number 145 of 1,000. Now, I already own this film in the regular release and the Steelbook release. I will be selling my regular edition because this comes with the regular edition. But what sold me on this was there is a book inside that is on its own worth about £25, and it's a book I don't already have. So I'm going to try and, I don't know if I can, I can't really unbox this in this angle, but it opens up here. And inside you have a load of goodies. And these goodies are pretty cool. Let me see if I can figure a way to not break the box set while holding it here. Seems a little tricky, actually. Yeah, this is. I should have thought this through a little bit better, I think. Maybe if I tilt it towards myself, I could probably get away with it. There we go. Okay. So the book that it comes with is The Art of Kiki's Delivery Service. My microphone is shaking like hell, so apologies if there's any interference. So this is the book that comes with it, The Art of Kiki's Delivery Service. These things are gorgeous, brilliant books. I collect them, so I have quite a few of them already. And I hadn't got this one. And sometimes they go on offer for like decent prices. But this one never seems to go on offer. It's always around £25. You get images from the movie, you get a lot of concept art stuff, backgrounds, character sketches, things like that. And I believe this one has the script at the end as well. Well, I'm not entirely sure if this script, which goes shot by shot through the whole movie, is the English translated script or not. So I don't know if it's Miyazaki's script. But, oh, this is interesting. So this is on the front page. We have what is essentially, I guess, an early concept of what Kiki might have looked like, which is a little bit different than the final film. But I wanted to get this on its own anyway, and this box set came with that, which was really cool. And then also on the inside, you get just, you know, just cool bits of You get the 30th anniversary patch, which is pretty neat. You get a tea towel, which has an image of the cat Gigi on it. Which again, don't know how practical it is to use something. I suppose you could use it. I probably should, you know, to get some use out of it. It has the original theatrical Japanese poster, which is a big sell for me. Obviously it's folded, but it's still very cool and would be something that could be nice to get framed. Again, opening this on camera, I don't know if this is even going to see half of it, but what the hell. Pretty cool. Now there have been 2 of these box sets. One for Kiki, which came out last year for the 30th anniversary, and one for My Neighbor Totoro, which came out in 2018 for the 30th... No, 2018, the year before, because it was the 30th anniversary of that film. So if they do one of these for Porco Rosso in a couple of years, I don't think I'd be able to resist it, honestly. And it's worth saying this is one of my favorite films of all time. So this isn't something I'm just like blindly buying for brand loyalty towards Studio Ghibli. So you get these nice art prints, which I haven't even opened and looked at yet. But yeah, this is just such a brilliant film, a beautiful film. And it was reduced, I should say, because the original asking price is something like £90, way too much for what you get. But this one actually dropped in price temporarily, and so with the Amazon gift cards for my birthday, I kind of pulled the trigger on it. Oh, I love that shot. It's one of my favorite shots of the film. And then inside you do, of course, get the Blu-ray and some more postcard images as well. Let's just take that out briefly. So there we go, that's the film itself. Really good Blu-ray, some really cool special features on here as well. I think it's a really nice set presentation-wise. I think if they were more priced around £40 to £50, they'd be viable to collect all of them almost, because they're so nice. And I know that there have been quite a few of these types of releases in Australia, at least. Australia have done quite a few of these. They're the same kind of format with the white boxes and come with the art book and everything. But these are the only ones that have come out in the UK so far. I think the Totoro one sold out when the price dropped, and I was almost tempted to get that one too, but I don't love the film as much, you know, so I can just buy the art book independently of that. And yeah, so one of my favorite films, a super deluxe edition of it, with a really great, you know, book that comes along with it. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. I didn't regret the purchase, which was definitely I was wrestling with it for a while. And I just love the way that it looks as this huge, massive collector's box set. Really, really cool. Let's put it down on the floor. Speaking of the art books of Studio Ghibli, this one dropped in price to about £13, and I couldn't pass it up. It is The Art of Spirited Away. I need to get back to this film. It's one of my least favorite Miyazaki films. I think it's quite overrated, actually. I would still rate it 5 out of 5 because it is a masterpiece of imagination, but at the same time I do think it gets lauded a bit too much, because I think that there's much better films in Miyazaki's filmography. But I do see the appeal, but I feel like I need to just watch it again. I've seen it a few times, of course, as a Miyazaki fan, but it is a gorgeous, beautiful film. And yeah, I just love like the background art, you know, just those pieces. Difficult to show on camera from this angle, of course, but I love seeing those background pieces, and just beautiful stuff. So when one of these art books goes down to like, you know, £12 or something, it's just it's a no-brainer. This one has the script too, but without the shot list. And I do believe that is the English version of the script. But yeah, I have the Spirited Away one. I now have the Kiki one. I have the Princess Mononoke one, and I have the Porco Rosso one, and also the Watercolor Impressions edition of Nausicaa. Nausicaa has actually had another version, which is more the art of the movie, whereas the Watercolor Impressions were watercolor paintings that Miyazaki has done of Nausicaa throughout the history of that manga and the movie coming out as well. So I'd like to get the art book of that. Anyway, the last thing I have, book-wise here, is this huge book. And I wish I hadn't found out about these. This is a company called Taschen, who do lots of like art photography books and things like that. Very like super high-end, very expensive. Like we're talking like $1,000 for some of these books. But they do film books, and some of them are decently priced, some not so much. There's a big Star Wars one, and they do these archive releases, which are these super duper deluxe, like 600-page hardcover, just monsters. And there's a couple of them I really would like. There's the Star Wars trilogy one, which I feel like I need to read all the other trilogy making of books before I even think about buying that. And there's a Charlie Chaplin one that looks incredible, but it's over £100. And I just can't justify that price, and it's really tricky. But this one was like £35, and I thought, okay, let's see what these are like. It's almost like a test purchase, but it is a director who I think is really phenomenal. Unfortunately, this thing is a bit of a dust magnet. There's just stuff all over it at the moment. But I'm really quite impressed with this for the most part so far. It is the Stanley Kubrick Archives. Really nice kind of front cover here with the cloth binding, and this is what they kind of look like. So I think there's an Ingmar Bergman one with a different color, but it looks the same. There's a Walt Disney Archives one. The only thing I don't love about this is that half of the book, you can actually see the difference in color here. Half of the book is just stills from all of Kubrick's movies, which is nice, but I look at them and I don't think... Like, I almost think if I took my Blu-rays and ripped them, I could probably get higher quality images in some cases. But some of them do look great, and this one's going to be ridiculously hard to show off because of how big it is and also how heavy it is. But you just get lots of images of the movies, but where this book really shines is in the second half, where you get to the archives, and this is just like an unbelievable level of depth in terms of interviews with Kubrick. Again, it's the Kubrick archive, so all of this information, these contracts and just images, and it just goes on and on and on. I couldn't really do it justice from this camera angle, but also just in general. There have been people who have made unboxing videos that have shown how great that book really is. So I'm really happy with that. It's going to be one to, like, I don't know, I feel like I need a second desk to set it down on and read it properly, but I did flick through everything, and it's just, it's really great. As far as, like, just a piece on a director as a book, it's really awesome. I just was so happy with it when again, the first half, looking through it, is just images and stills, and I feel like they could have done maybe more with that, and I don't think the other archive books are quite like that, but, they're still cool to look at. It's nice to flick through them, and it really jogs your memory of all those great films that he made. A few of them I still haven't seen yet, and I thought maybe buying that would kick me up the arse to rewatch those films again and also get to the ones I haven't seen yet. Anyway, now we move on to 4 films that all share a common character. So this is where we're going to end part 1, and then we'll get to part 2. So I almost can't believe I bought this. I almost can't believe I spent money on this movie. But it's really intriguing the way that this turned out. In 4K, I bought Godzilla, the 1998 classic. And it follows a weird trend, because recently me and Connie watched Dante's Peak on Netflix, which is a 90s disaster movie that I love. And I was kind of reticent to return to it because I thought it just was going to be a bit naff and not really hold up. And God, I loved watching that film again. Then we watched Twister, another 90s disaster movie, which again I thought, yeah, I loved it when I was a kid, but it probably doesn't hold up. God, I loved rewatching that film. So while this is technically not a disaster movie, it kind of is, it kind of isn't, and it's from one of the great masters of disaster filmmaking, in my opinion, and that's not a sarcastic comment, Roland Emmerich. I love Independence Day. I love The Day After Tomorrow. I really like 2012. And I really loved this film when it came out. Before the 2014 Godzilla was released, me and Connie watched the original Godzilla and then this one. And this one, I just thought, wow, it hasn't held up whatsoever. It's really weak. The characters just aren't very good. The way Godzilla is treated as a character is just nothing compared to what that character is supposed to be. It's just a complete misfire. Just really not, just I was really disappointed. I felt like revisiting this one. So this is actually the first 4K Blu-ray I watched. I really liked it. It's really strange. I enjoyed it so much more than I had before. It isn't a great film. It's very cheesy. It's not really a Godzilla movie. But I don't know. I kind of just saw it in a new light. And that's what I fucking love about films. They change as you change, And I never expected to enjoy this film again. But here we are. I took a gamble. It was reduced in price on Amazon in the 4K version. I thought, what the hell? Let's give it a spin. And it looked really good. The CGI looks awful. But the rest looks pretty good. I don't know what it was about this one. I really enjoyed revisiting it. The nostalgia is there, of course. The music and stuff. Jamiroquai and Puff Daddy. But, just the film itself, I enjoyed it so much more than I had before. And I might do a separate video on this. Anyway, so Godzilla in 4K. From there, I went out and bought Shin Godzilla. This is a 2016 Japanese film that kind of brought the Godzilla franchise back in a way. I don't know the full timeline and details of the Godzilla franchise, but as far as I'm aware, this was the first major Japanese Godzilla film in quite a while. So yeah, it was 2006. This has 2 discs, interestingly, and there's not really any information about it online at all, but it has the English version on one Blu-ray and then the Japanese version on another. Really like that disc artwork. I'm guessing it's a dub. I mean, it has to be, right? I mean, we're not talking like full-on 1950s King of the Monsters style, redoing or anything. But yeah, there's like an hour of special features. There's the visual effects and stuff. I've seen this film. I really enjoyed it. Me and Connor reviewed it in Asian Cinema Season in 2017. And I remember just being so appalled by how bad Godzilla looked in this in the beginning of the film before realizing that it was kind of in its pre-stages. When this film really kicks into high gear, it was really good. So I want to revisit this one as well, especially after having watched the 1998 Godzilla. And from there, I decided to go and buy a film that I really would have bought from day one, but I just haven't been too keen to revisit it anytime soon. Obviously now I'm kind of in the mood for it. It is the 2014 Godzilla, directed by Gareth Edwards. I love this film. Saw it in the cinema, thought it was really, really good. I love how they held off on showing Godzilla until really the end of the movie when it all kicks off, and I just thought that it was a good story, had great actors in it. Bryan Cranston did a phenomenal job. The opening scene of the film, Bryan Cranston and Juliette Binoche, I think the way he sells that is some of the best acting I'd seen in the whole year of 2014, I think. So this is a really nice steelbook. I forget what's on the inside of the case. But this is going fairly cheap on Zavvi, so I thought, why not? Oh, that's really cool. Really nice red effect Godzilla there. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out again. And obviously with that, you go straight into the sequel, which came out last year, which was visually one of my favorite films of 2019, Godzilla King of the Monsters. And this is a stunning steelbook, and 4K steelbook as well. Actually, I should take this out before I show you the back cover, because I love how this thing looks when you open it up. Nice matte finish, and you open it up there, and oh, gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. It doesn't do it justice, like the way that it looks in person, like the kind of the various, there's like a gleam to it and a shine, the way the colors change when you look at it. There's kind of an impressionistic inside artwork there, which is pretty cool. But I really like this film a lot, and visually, 4K is the format I would like to experience this one in again. So Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I like how the two steelbooks kind of match when they go together. I don't think it was really intended for this, but like it's the same font, and it just looks nice together like that. And so yeah, it's a nice 1-2 punch of the two recent American remakes of Godzilla. So that's it for part 1. Let me know your thoughts down below on any of the films that I talked about, and I'll see you in part 2. You'd think me buying all those Godzilla films would have come from a better reason than just randomly wanting to watch the 1998 version again, but I guess that was the only reason I can think of. I don't know why. I might have this Alita poster here. Let me just take that down a second. Okay. Anyway, I will see you in part 2. Thank you for watching.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.